Hello, mommies and daddies! Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. I am Ana Gonzalez, the social media editor of smartparenting.com.ph. On behalf of the Smart Parenting family, welcome to another 30 minutes of learning here at the Edamama Online Family Expo. We're happy that you can all join us online in the comfort and safety of your home. Thank you so much po sa pagsali and pag-sign up para makasama kami today. If you know anyone who needs to be inspired or is looking for a really good way to spend their time, dito na po yun. Invite them lang po. They can listen to our expert and they just need to do a very, very quick sign up. Ayan. You can also send us your question through the live chat window. Mamaya po sasagutin po natin yan lahat sa abot ng ating makakaya. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at smartparenting.ph and Instagram at smartparenting. You can also subscribe on our YouTube channel para po updated kayo sa mga upcoming guestings and events namin katulad po nito. Be a part of our Facebook group too. That's the Smart Parenting Village. We now have, I think, more than 70,000 members and counting. Ayan. Now, yesterday, which was Health and Wellness Day here at Edamama, we had a great discussion po about parental burnout. Kung akala po natin pagod tayo dati, hindi pa pala yun. Kaya, grabe ang hanga namin sa mga magulang sa panahon ngayon kasi ang dami po talaga nating challenges. One of the things many parents worry about the most now is how to raise resilient kids today. What does it mean to be resilient and how do you build it nga ba? To help us answer these questions, Smart Parenting has tapped Michelle Tambunting once again to talk about the concrete ways parents can do this. Michelle has a master's in education from Harvard University Graduate School of Education, and in 1999, she co-founded one of the most respected preschools, Young Creative Minds Preschool. She is currently training to be a conscious parenting coach and recently founded Happiness Class PH, where she trains children, families, educators, and anyone else to be chief happiness officers. We just love the sound of that. Kahapon, nakakuha na kami ng preview niyan. Feeling ano na kami ngayon, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much po for joining us today. Welcome back po at sobrang excited na naman kami sa matututunan namin sa inyo today.
Hello. Hi, Anna. So happy to be here again to have this conversation with you. I had so much fun yesterday.
Thank you so much po. Now, syempre, katulad ng ginawa natin kahapon, hindi na natin yan patatagalin para mas marami tayong mapag-usapan ngayon. Miss Michelle, I want to ask you po, how do you define resilience ba? Would you call it an attitude or is it a life skill?
I would define resilience as an essential life skill. And sa atin, my definition or the definition for resilience would be the capacity to recover from difficulties. Yun bang ability natin to spring back, na bumangon, to recover.
So resilience is the ability to bounce back when we fall down. Tama po, Miss Michelle?
Yes.
When we're talking about helping our children po have that ability to bounce back, lagi po nating naririnig yung phrase na, let them learn from their mistakes. Let them fall. What can you say po about that?
My children are bigger now, they're 14 and 10. But as a young parent, as a new parent, it was very tempting, and I admit that I was that kind of parent. Very natural for us to not want our children to struggle. 'Di ba? Yun pag nahihirapan, gusto natin padaliin yung buhay for them. So, and I think that comes from very good intentions because we love them, we want to safeguard them from that. But as my sons grew up and as I was able to do the work that I do and do the research and the studies that I do, I realized that we're doing our children a disservice by when we don't allow them to make mistakes. We're not giving them the space or the opportunity to practice the essential life skills. And one of them really is to be resilient, to be able to sort through and navigate through the struggle and bounce back. Really bounce back and spring back from that. When we forever save them we don't give them the opportunity to practice all of this.
We understand that po, no, Miss Michelle, but how do you do that po sa 2-year-old na bata, for example? How do parents stop themselves from automatically, yung instinctively na pag nadapa si baby, oh my gosh, I'm here, mommy's gonna save the day, daddy's gonna save the day. Paano po nila i-off kahit papano or ito-tone down lang yung switch to rescue the child kapag nahihirapan na po yung bata?
I think it first and foremost begins with a change of mindset. Because if our mindset is always about wanting to make things easy for our children or not wanting them to struggle, then becoming a helicopter parent in that sense, or the parent who will always save the child, will always come naturally. But if we're more mindful about the way we are with our children, when we learn to change our mindsets and the stories in our head, we're able to tell ourselves, if you tell yourself, I will allow and I will help my 2-year-old daughter or my 3-year-old son or my 4-year-old daughter find her or his way in the world. Because children, I think, are really born with their natural ability to navigate and to learn. And we feel kasi they're born as blank slates na we have to fill them up with information. When in reality, they have it in them to pretty much to find their way in the world. And if it's all about safety, then I get that. Of course, you be careful that they don't fall, they don't hit their heads. But don't go to the extent of not allowing them to try. Kasi many times we become so overprotective because we don't want them to get hurt that we don't allow them to do things. And being able to navigate the world physically, ay alam mo yun, lagi na lang natatakot ka na mahuhulog, magkakasakit, madadapa. We're allowing them to live in a world that's too safe, but they're not allowed to try and to navigate and to find their way in the world. So really be more conscious about allowing our 2-year-olds, like what your question is, our younger children, allow our young children to explore freely. Kasi we're always we're always very guarded these days, especially now with the pandemic. I so understand that.
Yes, that's a very good point. But thank you for sharing to Miss Michelle. Now, we're going there in na konting-konti. Parents want to raise their kids to be resilient because they think na resilient equals success. Is that right po na mindset or thinking? Is that wrong? Or there is an in-between po doon?
I think, Anna, maybe if we like parang kind of look at that question, we have to start with what, as a parent, what is your definition ba of success? Kasi 'di ba, marami sa atin ang success, and I get that, especially now with social media, and comparing yourself to other people. Our definition, there could be a definition of success where it's about the high grades, the honors, the scholarships, the college that you get into, the job that you have, the salary that you have. Diba? And there's a lot of a lot of it is tied to the material world. Right? Parang what's your definition of success, right? Landing that job that will, of course, we all want that to give your child a secure future. But if that's the vocabulary and that's the thought that your child always hears, na you're already conditioning the child na, alam mo, you need to do this because it will contribute to you landing a job. Or, you know what, let's go to science camp this summer because I think it's really cool if you become a doctor. Then, parang meron ka ng programmed. And a lot of it has to do with our plans for our children. And that we can't take that away because we are parents. But our children are born with a true essence, kung sino ba talaga sila. And I'm sure those of us who are here today and listening to this, we can ask ourselves, when did we truly get in touch with our passion and our purpose in life? Yun bang ginagawa mo yung trabaho mo na masaya ka sa ginagawa mo? You're fulfilled? You're happy with what you do? And I think when you're in touch with your passion and your purpose, it it doesn't feel so much like work. And how I wish that my sons can grow up and find their passions and purpose in life early, so that work won't ever feel like a drudgery. Alam mo yun, you gotta get yourself to work. And I think if you find something that you love to do, that is success. And if we teach, and resilience has so much to do with that, because in finding your passion and purpose, you need to be resilient, because there are times that you will try out things and it just won't work out. And kailangan matuto yung mga anak natin na ganun. Kailangan natin bumangon. Kailangan natin to find the courage in ourselves to rise and try again. I think that's ako, if my age now, ha, not as a young parent, but now, if you were to ask me what's my biggest wish for my own children, it's that they find their purpose in life and the meaning, and that they really connect with themselves so much that they find the resilience in them to go through the hardships of life, because life isn't perfect, and there will always be struggles. Successful ka na kung kaya mong bumangon and recover from that struggle and take a step forward and move again.
Top of your head po, Miss Michelle, if a parent comes and asks you bigla, ay, kumare, turuan mo naman ako, paano ba ako magre-raise ng resilient na child? How would you answer po?
Siguro the first thing I'll say is let go of the control slowly. I know it's hard as a parent, but when we try to control our children, and not just with the things that they do, but really control everything, and we do a lot of that unconsciously, lumalabas at lumalabas. So siguro ang una kong sasabihin is chill ka lang. Let go ka muna, Anna. Our children, we underestimate their ability and their ability to do things for themselves. So that's the first thing. Chill lang. Let go ka ng konti. Second is really help them get in touch with themselves. Know themselves. And they cannot do that if we're forever in their face. If we're forever saying, anak, alam mo yun, do this, do that. You need to study this. Let's plan it out. Ikaw yung gagawa ng schedule. Ikaw yung paplano for the child. But how will the child ever really know, what do I like doing ba talaga? Don't overbook your child. Don't overschedule your child, because your child needs the time to really just be, because it's in the being, and it's in the chillness, and it's in the stillness that they really reconnect and connect with themselves, and that's the only time they can really know themselves.
Miss Michelle, ang ganda po nun, no? Kasi if you let your child be, then they also get to know themselves. They discover kung anong gusto nila, kumakanta ba ako.
Kung ano yung gusto mo para sa kanila. Ayaw mo silang lumaki na they always have a need for validation. Yung bang, ano ba gusto ng mommy kong gawin ko? They will never be in touch with their intrinsic motivation, yung motivation that's coming from inside. Yun, ano ba talaga, I mean, di ba, Anna, think of the things you've ever done in your life. Siguro you felt the happiest, am I right, or most successful when you were doing something that you loved.
Yes.
Diba? Pero pag alam mong it's something that somebody else wants you to do for your life, you're forever going to be pleasing somebody else. So the motivation's not going to be coming from inside you. So that's difficult. Imagine living a life like that. I don't want my sons to live like that. Diba?
I belong to a generation po na mag-nurse ka. Tapos kami nurse. Kahit hindi naman po, di ko po matagalan yung mga gagawin-gawin. Parang mag-nurse ka. Why though?
Alam mo, I'd struggle ko rin yan because my mother was a lawyer and my father was an economist. So, feeling ko, growing up, plus I grew up with 3 older brothers, I felt I needed to, kailangan kong makibaka sa kanila. Everybody was either in business or in economics. And I felt I needed to do that. So, nung nag-apply ako for college, economics yung first course ko. And I sat in my economics classes that first year thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to be here. So that was my struggle. So I'm also glad that things worked out in such a way that I was able to shift courses because I knew I always wanted to work with children. But my mom used to always tell me, yung naririnig ko doon is, mababa ang kita ng teacher. Anong gagawin mo diyan? Alam mo yon, yun, paano na yon? So nandun yon, and we have to be careful of the conversations that children are exposed to. Kasi yun, I always had that voice in my head saying, sayang naman kung parang it was always magti-teacher ka lang, parang and I didn't realize parang the nobility of the profession and the passion I had in it was always quelled. So in my vocation, I felt that I was being called for was always being silenced because of the conversations around me. But I am so blessed that I was able to shift, find my passion, do it. Because I think in the 22 years I've been working as a teacher, I've never really felt like it was work. I always felt like I always looked forward to going to work, and I still do, even if it's online. It is tiring, but I love what I do, and I want my children to experience that. I can never imagine myself in a desk job, sitting there for diba? So I want our children to do that, and they won't be able to do that, mommies and daddies, if we are forever telling them what they should do.
That's so nice po. Now, we only have a few minutes left. As usual, bitin na naman po. But I want to end it the same way we did yesterday. You spoke about nurturing gratitude po yesterday when it was about parental burnout. Can we also relate nurturing gratitude when it comes to raising resilient children?
Oh yes, most definitely. Because if you look at the modern research, it's really shown, and all the studies have shown that an important component of emotional resilience is gratitude. Because gratitude really trains our minds to see the more positive things. And it's not the kind, again, of toxic positivity that I talked about this yesterday. Not at all. And it is I don't think it's possible to even create that kind of toxic positivity if you're talking about resilience. Because what's important is knowing that there is always something to be grateful for, no matter how small, really contributes to our well-being and contributes to our thought process about being more compassionate to other people, being more compassionate to ourselves. And by just doing that, we increase and nurture the resilience in ourselves. So if you look at the modern research and the studies, it really has shown that talagang gratitude is an important component of resilience.
So, Miss Michelle, apart po from raising resilient children through gratitude, can we also say na gratitude is also a nice kumbaga, gateway po to raise empathetic kids?
I think we could even go more broad in such a way na we can say that I like to think of gratitude as like a key that unlocks so many beautiful doors. So not only with gratitude, it's like what you said, it's a gateway to so many other positive emotions. You raise a grateful child who can be thankful for the smallest things. That child will most likely and surely be so much more positive than a child who is entitled and who is always wanting for more. So if we teach our children gratitude early, then it will really open so many more positive doors for them. And by doing so, it will definitely make them more resilient.
That's really, really nice po, no, Miss Michelle. I never realized that gratitude can serve as a key to more positive doors. So that we learned a lot of things today, but ang pinaka natatandaan natin na talagang tumatak yung gratitude can be used to open more positive doors. And also, I think it's very important, and we're really lucky that we learned today na if we get to know ourselves better, we help our children get to know themselves better. So we prevent yung naipapasa po natin yung frustrations natin na we
Yeah.
wanted to be dancers before, we couldn't be dancers, so we end up na our children, encouraging our children na, anak, sumayaw ka, go, kaya mo yan.
Mhm.
Kahit naman po ang paa magkaiba. I can say, so I can tell so many stories po na mga ini-encourage sa akin before, and I felt flattered po nung bata ako na, kaya mo to anak, kaya mo to anak, but my heart would beat for something else. And I'm
Yes.
very lucky po na I listened to that beat. So moms and dads, I think it's very important na we let our we do not speak so that our children can hear kung ano yung itinitibok po ng mga puso nila pagdating sa mga pangarap nila. Para marinig po nila. Because if we're noisy, anak, ito, then they might miss that chance to hear kung ano po yung para sa kanila.
We can be, and I think we can be present kasi without saying too much.
Yes. And I think, looking at you now po, Miss Michelle, I think you're a very proud mommy to just look at your children and watch and wait kung anong magiging future nila because you allowed them to be. Hi! I'm getting goosebumps because we learned so much na naman sa ating chismisan. It really felt like a super casual chismisan lang, but we really learned a lot po, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much po for joining us today. Please let our viewers know kung saan po nila kayo mahahanap. I'm sure they want to learn more.
Oh, yes. Anna, thank you so much again for the time. I truly enjoyed myself. Para lang tayo na, next time magdadala na ako ng kape and breakfast or merienda. But to all the parents out there, thank you for tuning in. And I hope that my own experience were able to really impart something to all of you. You can find me either on our Young Creative Minds preschool page if you're looking for school, but at the same time, Happiness Class PH is there for all of you. If you want more conversations about the things Anna and I just spoke about today and yesterday, and ways we already have ready-made modules that you can explore online very easy. But to really start these conversations at home, come join our Facebook page, both our public and our private ones. And of course, for your own well-being as parents, so that we can nurture that resilience and well-being in our kids, there's always the Well-Being Boost program. I co-facilitate that with a bunch of other amazing facilitators. And if you ever need a well-being boost that will help you become a better parent, please go and check out our pages as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much po, Miss Michelle. And mommies and daddies, please never ever think that it's too late. It's never too late. We can always start today. So, that's all the time that we have. Kung nabitin po kayo, marami pa pong paparating, I'm sure. Sa dami po nang natutunan natin today with Miss Michelle, I'm sure we will have more talks with her in the future. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you learned a lot po. Most importantly, like we wished yesterday, sana po ang talk natin ngayon ang makapag-start ng inyong journey para maging mas healthy, mas mindful, at mas present but not helicopter parent present na magulang sa inyo pong mga anak. Ayan. If you still have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box and we will be more than happy to answer your questions in a bit. Don't forget to visit our website po, smartparenting.com.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe din po kayo sa aming YouTube channel para po mapanood ang replay ng live na ito o iba pang resources para mas maging maayos po tayong magulang. Have a great day, mommies and daddies. Sana po hindi maulan kung nasa man kayo. Ingat po palagi. Don't forget to take care of yourself and don't feel guilty about it. Have a great day po ulit. We hope you had fun at Edamama's Family Expo. We'll see you around. Bye po!